Another beautiful night in lower downtown Denver. Glad you're along tonight as the Rockies are getting set to take on the Florida Marlins. Trying to take 2 of 3 before they send Florida off to San Diego. And the Rockies will have a day off tomorrow before the Dodgers come in this weekend. Well, with Jeff Houston, I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies last night almost came back again. They lost 6-5. That guy Giambi hit another home run in the 9th inning, and maybe his services won't be needed later on tonight because the Rockies will get after Ricky Nolasco, but that has been very difficult to do. Here's a guy that's figured out Coors Field.
Yeah, 3-0 here at Coors Field, 5-0 in his career against the Colorado Rockies, and Ricky Nolasco is just 3 strikeouts away from being the all-time strikeout leader for the Florida Marlins. Not an overpowering guy, but he knows how to pitch because he's a 4-pitch pitcher. Slider, fastball, curveball, and a split finger that he likes to utilize and work ahead of the hitters, hence all the strikeouts. In his career, over 60 wins at the major league level, so it's going to be a difficult task tonight, as I mentioned, because of his numbers here at Coors Field. He just knows how to pitch.
He knows how to pitch. He's a tough guy. He's a very competitive guy. He wants the baseball late. Went 8 innings in his last start. Troy Tulowitzki has been sensational. Not only is 4 for 7 lifetime against Nolasco, a footnote on tonight's ball game, but in the second half this year, there's not been anybody better offensively in the game.
Well, in his career, he's a .332 hitter post All-Star break, and including in August now, well over 400, 418 to be exact. So you look at Troy, it's something that he's done. He's figured it out, and he would like to know why he can't do it pre-All-Star break, but he's figured out the post-All-Star break. We saw what he was able to do last year in September, almost willed this club to the playoffs by himself. He's just a gamer. He knows what he needs to do.
I actually have an answer for that question.
Okay.
I don't have an answer for many things. It's the baseball gods. You are not allowed to hit for something for a whole season.
You can't do that?
You cannot do that. It's not allowed.
Okay. That's the
reason.
Does
not happen anymore. He has been sensational. Hey, when we come back, we'll talk about the 2 old guys, Giambi and Helton. That'll be up next with Mark Stout.
Rockies and the Marlins have split the first two of this series. Earlier this year in April, Florida won 2 of 3 from the Rockies. There's Todd Helton, 307 average, starting at first in the lineup. He's been the man this year. And when you think about the first base tandem that the Rockies have used in Jason Giambi and Todd Helton, you look at the numbers, and they're right up there with first basemen across the league. These two have really done the job at first base, and the skipper knows that they complement one another.
With regard to what Todd has done this year and having Jason to pick him up periodically, and Todd realizing that these days off here and there could be very conducive to help him have the type of seasons offensively that he's looking to have. It's served both guys in the best manner that you could possibly have. You know, you have a presence bat in either case, and for the most part, they've delivered big time.
And you know what? Age may be a number, but you got to mention that Todd Helton turns 38 this Saturday. Jason Giambi already 40. He'll be 41 next January. These two getting it done together at first base and in this series in particular. Aaron Cook on the hill tonight for the Rockies, trying to take the series at home against the Marlins. Baseball comes your way next.
Ford Edge, drive one. By CenturyLink. Quest is now CenturyLink. Your link begins here. Find out more at CenturyLink.com. By Pizza Hut. Get any pizza, any size, any toppings for just $10 when you carry out. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. It is Aaron Cook's turn to pitch tonight. He'll be opposed by Ricky Nolasco. 13th start this year for Aaron Cook. That makes it 9 straight years that he has started at least 13 ball games in a Rockies uniform. Emilio Bonifacio will be first again for the Marlins. And the rest of Jack McKeon's Southwest Airlines batting order. Brian Peterson, Mr. Triple. He's had 3 in the series, 2 last night. Then Mike Stanton, he has only 2 hits. Problem is they've both landed on the other side of the wall. Greg Dobbs will bat fourth. Gabby Sanchez next. Mike Cameron in there again tonight. John Buck with good pop. Jose Lopez and the pitcher Nolasco. First pitch from Aaron Cook is in there to Emilio Bonifacio for a strike. Bonifacio 5 for 8 lifetime against Aaron.
And the numbers for Aaron Cook, 13 start, 2 and 7. Those 2 wins came out on the road.
And that's a tweener. That's the 3.5 hole. And a base hit. Take a look at the Rockies defensively. Again, it'll be Seth Smith in left. Carr goes in right. Dexter Fowler is in center. Nelson, Tulowitzki, Ellis, and Helton in the infield with Iannetta doing the catching. Between Tulowitzki and Mark Ellis, they've made 6 errors all year. Mark has not made one with the Rockies. The 2 for Ellis came when he was still playing for the Oakland A's.
Yeah, still a .996 fielding percentage for Ellis.
Think about that. It's August 17th. The middle of your diamond's made 6 errors. Amazing.
That's why Troy will wear gold again this year.
And you know what? By the end of the year, and there's still 6 more weeks of the season, I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes in the top 5 or 6 for MVP again in the National League when the numbers are all tallied. He was 5th each of the last 2 years. Of course, Carlos Gonzalez was 3rd last year.
42 consecutive games now for Troy without an error. Got him.
Close.
I'm just looking at Todd's reaction. Made it look like he got him. He just didn't quite get him on the tag.
Aaron Cook trying to keep Bonifacio very close with the 29 stolen bases. Brian Peterson, the last 5 games, 9 for 17, the 3 triples in this series. 2 yesterday, the 3 triples, the first 3 of his career. Something in the water in baseball yesterday, because he was not the only guy to produce a 2 triple game yesterday in the big leagues. There were 2 other guys.
Yeah, and Brian Peterson tied a club record with those 2 triples. Tied Logan Morrison, who had done it earlier.
He did it, yeah, last year. And Lomo right now kind of in the doghouse. He's in New Orleans at AAA. He's a guy that may tweet a little too much for the liking of the Marlins organization.
Yeah, there was a couple things that got him sent down. One, he was hitting about 200 in the last 6 weeks or so, but that tweeting got him where the club said they wanted him to focus on baseball just a little bit more.
0-2. Morgan's shown good opposite field pop, Jeff, in this series.
Well, he's hit the ball where it's been pitched. That's the main thing for Brian Peterson. Both balls that he hit to the opposite field last night were balls that were away. He didn't try to pull them. He stayed on it, stayed through the baseball. And that's what you have to do.
Bonifacio creeps out a little bit farther off the bag. Here's the 0-2, and that's fouled off. Just one final footnote. Doug's done some research on the 3 players having 2 triples on the same day. The last time that happened, July 27, 1958. Roger Maris, Solly Hemus, and Bill Tuttle. Nice work, Doug. So it happens every blue moon. It was a blue moon in July of 58. There goes the runner. Good throw, and he's got it. Boy, he got a great pitch to work with. It was a, I don't think it was intended to be, but it might as well have been a pitch out.
Semi-pitch out. It wasn't called from the bench, but just where it was for Chris. They were trying to go away to Brian Peterson. The ball was up. The transfer. And he liked this as a shortstop because you just wait for the ball. You go ahead, just slide into it. You're going head first. I don't have to worry about a cleat. And you're out.
And now the pop up to Tulowitzki. 2 outs. One more thing on that throw by Chris Iannetta. His ball stays really true to second base. It is very unusual to see Chris throw one of those two-seamers that ends up in right center field.
Well, and it's the ones that when they do that, the arms of the shortstop or the second baseman get really short because they don't want to go into that runner as it's coming there and the ball tailing. But that is just money on the bag with good late life. Now, Chris has thrown out over 27% of the base runners that have attempted to steal.
Here's the 0-1 on Mike Stanton, and this is lined to deep center field, and it is off the base of the wall. Stanton has a stand-up double with 2 outs. The only thing that kept that in the ballpark, Huey, just never hit it high enough to get out.
Some kind of player. We've seen him hit home runs, take walks. But the one thing he is not missing now, which he was doing earlier in the year back in April when we saw him, is he's not making or missing mistakes. If that ball's left up or anywhere where he can get extended on the ball, he's punishing it.
And I don't even think, this is going to sound silly, Jeff, I don't even think he truly barreled that. I don't think he got it on the sweet spot.
No, I would agree. He probably missed it by about an inch or two. But that shows you the strength of Stanton.
Greg Dobbs with 2 outs. Well, Drew Pomerantz is making his debut for Tulsa, making his Rockies organizational debut. And so far, so good. He's thrown 26 pitches through 3 innings, 20 strikes. He's not allowed a base runner through 3 innings, and he has a strikeout. And our George Frazier, because George's home is in Tulsa, is at the ball game, and George is going to visit with us via phone in a little while and give us an update on what he's seen from Pomerantz. One of the big names in the Ubaldo Jimenez trade, Alex White being the other, and Alex White is throwing the baseball exceptionally well for Tulsa, getting closer to coming up here and pitching for the big league club.
Yeah, Alex is going to pitch tomorrow, so you're going to get back-to-back nights down in Tulsa to be able to watch 2 of the guys they got in the Ubaldo trade. And what's impressive about Drew Pomerantz is he's just been throwing bullpens here the last couple weeks because he wasn't property of the Rockies. He was that player to be named later, couldn't come over until after he'd been with the Cleveland Indians for a year. So he's just been kind of on a no man's land, out on an island by himself. So to be able to pitch in a minor league game right now, you would think he would have a lot of nerves and that ball would be all over the place, but not so far with 26 pitches, 20 strikes.
I'll tell you something else interesting about his workouts in between, and they were, this ball's well hit right center field, and scooting over and getting underneath. Here's Gonzalez. I'll tell you a little bit more about Drew Pomerantz and his workouts when we return. Middle of 1, no score. Keep Florida off the board in the opening frame despite a single and a double. Dexter Fowler will lead things off. Last night he went 0 for 5. The top of the order struggled last night. 0 for 9 collectively between Dexter Fowler and Mark Ellis. Carlos Gonzalez had a solo home run last night. Tulowitzki a home run and a double. Todd Helton, Seth Smith. Smith homered. Nelson, Iannetta, and Aaron Cook to face Ricky Nolasco, who, as we talked about at the top of the broadcast, 5-0 lifetime against the Rockies, 3-0 with a 1.64 ERA at Coors Field.
And just 23 hits and 22 innings for Nolasco.
And Ricky's first pitch is in there for a strike. Nolasco, every once in a while, if you want to criticize, throws too many strikes, according to people in the Marlins organization.
Well, he only has 37 walks in 162 innings, so you feel comfortable in one regard when you go to the plate as a hitter, but uncomfortable because he has that many pitches, and he all of them, to me, are at least average or average to above.
Well, you mentioned that he's a 4-pitch mix, and he'll use them all. He started out Fowler with a fastball, then he went curveball, and then he went changeup. So you've already seen first three pitches of the game. Then the hard breaking ball, and that misses. I think there's a myth sometimes at altitude, especially when you get in the summer months, that, oh, you can't throw curveballs here. He's broken off a couple of real good ones already.
I think maybe early on when it's a little cold and you can't get the feel of the breaking pitches because the balls feel slick.
And that dumped into right field for a base hit. That's kind of pulled his hands in and got enough of the baseball for a leadoff knock against Nolasco. Here's the Marlins defensively. Peterson's in left. Mike Cameron, still a very good center fielder. Mike Stanton's in right. Dobbs and Bonifacio on the left side. Jose Lopez, Gabby Sanchez right side. And John Bucks behind the plate. Just to finish the thought on Drew Pomeranz. The Rockies told the Indians, said, hey, this is what we'd like him to do. The Indians, kind of oversaw it because he wasn't property of the Rockies yet. So in his simulated games, they weren't true simulated games in that hitters would stand in, but they were not allowed to swing because they didn't want a ball coming back and hitting Pomeranz.
Well, I think a tip of the cap has to go to the Cleveland Indians for doing that and overseeing that whole process, too.
Very strange, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've never heard of it that way before.
That's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Mark Ellis.
And right now, Tulsa is up in that ball game 4-0.
Dexter just 8 of 17 stealing bases. He's been caught more than he's been successful.
The ratio has been a little bit better since he came back up from AAA. But still an area that this winter and going into next spring, he needs to get up into that 70% success ratio.
Ellis hits this ball well to center field. Cameron going back, and he's going to get there. And Dexter will tag up and move to second. That's a good read by Dexter of Mike Cameron tracking the baseball.
Well, you saw where Mike Cameron was going more towards the wall. It wasn't like he caught it and had his momentum coming back towards the infield. So Dexter went halfway, saw where Cameron was, went back and tagged over at first to advance and being into scoring position. Mike Cameron's still running with his back turned towards home plate, so Dexter go back to the bag and then make it to second base, and now you can score on a base hit from Carlos Gonzalez. Those are the little base running things that really make the difference sometimes between winning and losing.
And it's a base running play you can make here at Coors Field with that cavernous outfield. Here's Cargo in an RBI situation. They try to work him in. It's off the plate in. 1-0. Last night, Gonzalez, one of the 4 home runs the Rockies hit. This was a bullet to the second deck and right, 427 feet. His 19th of the year. And again, they come in 2-0. Cargo's 19 home runs, second on the club to the guy on deck, who has 25.
7 out of the last 9 hits for Carlos have been extra base hits, including 4 home runs.
On the 2-0, they go off speed, and that misses. 3-0. This is where the Rockies line up. You want to go all the way back to March, and the vision of Dan O'Dowd, the vision of Jim Tracy is where you get a little traffic on, and then you got to deal with Gonzalez, and if you pitch around him, you got Tulowitzki. Well, that's what's occurring in front of our eyes here in the first inning.
And that's all you can ask for if you diagram it that way. But now that put the run on, and they do.
And they do. And Cargo hitting 3-0, which he does very well, will drive in the first run of the ball game. 1-0 Colorado for Gonzalez's 68th RBI. Jeff Houston, there are some guys, some big-time sluggers that don't like hitting 3-0. He has no problem doing it.
He says, hey, I like it. We've seen him do it already this year with the bases loaded. 3-0, hit a ball into the gap, drove in all 3 runs. Now it's just 1 run. But Carlos, he has no fear when he's at the plate. 3-0 guys will muscle up a lot of times, and they want to try to hit the ball out of here. But he just stayed on that ball, nice and relaxed swing, and drove in that first run.
Now Cargo, who's had less opportunities to run, moving from the top of the order to the 3 spot, he still leads the club with 16 stolen bases. He may have an opportunity here. Breaking ball for a strike to Tulowitzki.
Yeah, the last pitch from Nolasco is 1.34 seconds to the plate. 1.3 is the average or kind of the cutoff that you say. Above that, you can steal on it. Buck's just throwing out 18% of the runners this year.
And the way that works, Jeff Houston is a very good base stealer, is that Major League average for a catcher throwing a second is 2 flat. Major League average there is 1.3 to the plate. That's 3.3. So from your lead to second as a base runner, if you're under 3.3, the mathematical equation is you're safe.
You're safe. But it all depends on the jump you get, how quick. All that's factored in, but that's what you're looking for as a base stealer.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, 1 run down, 6 to go at Taco Bell. Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies Tacos special. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Fowler, a single. Moved to second on a deep fly ball by Mark Ellis. Scored on a base hit by Carlos Gonzalez. Elton on deck, 1 and 2 on Tulowitzki. Troy has hit 13 out of his last 14 to the tune of 469, including 5 home runs, 5 doubles as well. You know, he has 32 doubles. That's second in the league.
That's part of that OPS that he's just dominating all of baseball in right now.
It's on base percentage plus slugging percentage, OPS.
Typically 1-2 is a good running count.
Not going, and that's in.
Velasco's trying to challenge Troy with the fastball.
Velasco normally beats up the strike zone. He's 9 for 18 so far. He's a 50-50 guy early on, and he's clearly not gone after Gonzalez or Tulowitzki. He's kind of trying to pitch around him. He's already been hurt by Gonzalez, and now it's 3-2 on Troy, and you got to assume Cargill will take off here.
That's because there's already been some traffic out on the bases.
There he goes, and it's a base hit to left. Hit so hard. Well, Carlos going to try to cross to third. He's got to get down. Safe. Good slide. I thought he may hold up because even though he was going, it was hit so hard to Brian Peterson. But Carlos with the good wheels and a creative slide eluded the tag of Greg Dobbs. First and third, one out.
The problem you have as a base runner when you're thinking about stealing a base, you don't get the angle then to go to third base. You're not able to cut that bag like you normally would. And so your angle going around second is much wider. But because of that, he was able to slide to the outside part of the bag and get in around the tag of Greg Dobbs.
That was a very close play. Andy Fletcher had him safe. First and third. Here's Helt. Strong numbers for Helt. And it's 2-0. So Nolasco with the minuscule Coors Field ERA coming in. Is on the ropes a bit here in the opening frame. 1 in, 2 on, 1 out. And Todd Helt at the plate. And Todd in his career has swung the bat well against Nolasco. 4 for 10. Is this deep enough? I don't know. Two outs, and that'll bring up Seth Smith. Well, Ricky Nolasco against the Rockies, 5-0. And there have been a lot of games the Rockies didn't have a chance, especially in South Florida.
Yeah, just a total of 2.27 ERA, but as you mentioned here, Coors Field 164. Just knows how to pitch. He came over in a trade from the Chicago Cubs.
It was the Juan Pierre deal.
And Sergio Mitre and Reniel Pinto were also involved in that trade, 3 for 1.
Well, they needed help in the bullpen. And Nolasco is anything but a throw-in, but the other guys were more major league ready at that point in time. Nolasco, I think, was 41 and 14 in his minor league career, so he really was impressive. You were in the Cubs system,
yeah,
I think, at that point in time, but for whatever reason, the Cubs, what I understood at the time, the Cubs didn't believe Nolasco would be more than a back of the rotation guy, and he has been more of a front of the rotation guy with Florida.
Yeah, I never understood that one because I remember watching this young man pitch in rookie ball back in 2002. He was 7-2 with a 2.48 ERA. So it's not like he had bad numbers coming up through the system. He always knew how to pitch, but he didn't blow away the radar gun. That was the problem. Because he's a 90, 91 guy, and he's got a 4-pitch mix. But he just has a feel for pitching.
Got to take that into consideration. 1-2 on Smith.
And some other guys during that time, like Angel Guzman. he was ahead of Nolasco, but then he got hurt.
That was after the 2003 World Championship for the Marlins, whereas they did in '97, actually in '98, they blew up the whole team. Two outs. A run in. Carr goes at third. Tulowitzki at first. 2-2 on Smith. Seth hung with the curveball. Seth hit a long home run last night. He's put together 4 long balls over the last week or so.
And that was long because of where it was hit here at Coors Field for an opposite field hit for a lefty to go into that big gap at 425.
And again, he spins a curveball up there.
2 emergency hacks from Seth Smith just to foul him off.
I would venture to say he's thrown more curveballs than fastballs in this first inning. He's 28 pitches in. Windshield damage, call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. Rockies looking for that extra hit. Talking so much about it this year. You know, run is nice in the first inning, but
3 would be better.
3-2. Of course, you know, Helton is still kicking himself in the dugout. Situational at bat.
And you have speed over at third base, where it doesn't have to be just a long fly ball. A medium fly ball is going to be able to score Carlos.
The middle of the order guys hate to leave a runner in scoring position, especially a runner at third in less than 2 outs. Here's the 3-2 outside and high, so it's ball 4. The bases are loaded for Chris Nelson.
This is kind of reminiscent of what happened to Yolis Chacin last night, throwing a lot of pitches in the first inning. Now Nolasco now at 30 total pitches, split 50-50. Strikes and balls.
Randy St. Clair is going to come out. The guy at the plate, Chris Nelson, had 3 hits on Monday. He only had 2 at-bats last night because Jim Tracy had to go and get Chacin to double switch. He went to Escalona, and Chris Nelson made the final out, so Wigginton went in. He was 0 for 2 last night, but if you recall, he hit the ball very hard last night. He hit a ball to deep right field that we thought may have gone out, and went to the wall before Stanton caught it, and he hit the ball to fairly deep center field. So Chris Nelson mentally is in a pretty good place.
Yeah, he stayed right on those baseballs, both of them, and he thought he had at least 1 hit in those 2 at-bats. This year, 1 for 3 with the bases loaded for Chris.
Outside on the like a slider.
He's really working around everything. Meaning that left shoulder is flying open and his arms dragging behind. When he finishes, he's got so much momentum because of that going towards first base. He can't stay on plane.
Here's the 1-0. Catches the zone. That's the hardest Nolasco's thrown the ball tonight. That was at 93. Nelson hitting .293 against right-handed pitching coming in. Excuse me, I was looking at Seth Smith's numbers. .225 coming in against righties. And Nolasco can't get it, and Bonifacio does not have a play. An infield single and an RBI for Nelson. It's 2-0.
times we talk about just put the ball in play, good things might happen. Well, it did on this ball. He did not hit it hard. Out in front, slider, tried to go out and hook it. But once it got by Nolasco, and it got by him because I'd mentioned a moment ago how hard he falls off to first base. He's not squared up to home plate. And because of that, it took him too long to get back over to that ball, and Bonifacio just had to eat it.
Chris Iannetta now at the base is still jammed. And this ball drilled to center field. Cameron misjudges it over his head. It'll score at least 3. Iannetta will stop at second. A 3-run double for Chris Iannetta, and the Rockies have a 5 spot up in the first. Mike Cameron, who has a reputation as a terrific center fielder in 17 big league seasons, got frozen on this line drive.
Cameron's won 3 Gold Gloves in his career. It just shows you even the best here at the major league level, when there's a ball that is squared up and hits so hard, you're going to misjudge it. And Cameron misjudged that ball off the bat of Chris. But you take it, 5 runs in the first.
Aaron Cook up as the Rockies are returning the favor. You may recall last night Florida hit around in the first inning and scored 3 times. The Rockies have done them at least 2 better. Anibal Sanchez made the final out of the first inning last night. Cook saying, hold on a second, I see a ribby out there. Let's keep this train moving. Big swing by Aaron, no baseball, it's 0-2.
With that double by Iannetta, now on the season, batters are 5 for 11 against Nolasco with the bases loaded.
This next pitch will be his 37th in the first inning. And he's finally going to get to go to the dugout. The Rockies, who've had no success against Ricky Nolasco, put 5 up on the board. We'll talk to George Frazier about Drew Pomeranz next. Suzuki Auto's all-wheel drive lineup. Suzuki, the power of engineering. Nolan Arenado, congratulations, one of the Rockies' top hitting prospects, the third baseman for Modesto. 1 for 4 last night. It was a bomb. First minor leaguer this year to reach 100 RBIs. First professional player. Nobody in the big leagues has 100 RBIs. And Drew Pomeranz tonight making his Rockies debut, and what a debut so far. He is perfect through 5 innings. And our George Frazier, who lives in a castle just off, just a couple blocks from the ballpark, is joining us now.
Just a small castle.
That's a small castle. Frazier, how you doing, buddy?
Hey guys, how we doing? Well, it's pretty interesting to watch this young man take the mound. I actually went down about 6:15 to watch his warm-ups, to watch exactly how he conducted himself, and this kid's a pretty good professional. It was fun to watch him do his work in the bullpen, some late life on a fastball, and he just pounds the strike zone.
Hey, George, let me ask you, what caught your eye first and foremost? You said he goes about his business in a professional manner, but when he was facing hitters for the first time for him in a month, what caught your eye?
Focus more than anything else. I mean, this kid was focused from the time he went out to warm up. He threw strikes in his warm-ups. He was very businesslike on the mound. And he didn't appear at all to think he was better or I don't belong in Double-A. I mean, he came out there with a mission tonight, and obviously he's accomplished that. I mean, 43 pitches, 32 strikes. There's only been one ball hit hard, and that was on a changeup at 84 miles an hour that was up in the zone, and it was hit to left field right at Mitchell in left field. Other than that, there wasn't a ball hit hard. Everything's off the end of the bat or it's gotten jammed. I think he got a little more comfortable with his breaking ball, but he was 89-94 and set 91-92 the whole game.
Now he's able to sink it and also cut it, George?
Well, that's the nice part about it, Jeff. He had really good command on the inner half of the plate against right-handers, and then he would take it hard away, and it had great late life on his fastball with some sink. It was good to see. I mean, this kid's a polished pitcher. There's no question about it.
George, the thing that impresses me about this is a kid that's been sitting and just throwing some bullpens and throwing some sides and some simulated games without guys actually hitting, and now he walks out onto the field and is able to do this.
Well, again, I think it's all about his preparation and what he does. I wanted to see what he did to warm up, how he stretched, how he did everything. And it looked like a big leaguer doing all of his work to get prepared to go out and make a start. He did his band work down in the bullpen. He came out and started at 30. He backed it to 60. He went out to 120, came back in again. Everything that he did was a professional way of doing things. Cleveland's trained him well, and I'm sure Mississippi did the same thing at college. This kid's got a chance to be big time. I mean, it was fun to watch.
George, I know one of the other things, having spent so much time with you through the years, that you look at with a pitcher, and a lot of times you can see the difference between a minor league pitcher, especially a lower minor league pitcher, and then a guy who's polished, getting ready to go to the big leagues, is their ability to repeat their delivery. What have you seen in that regard?
He repeated everything. I mean, I never saw him fall off third base side. I never saw him fall off first base side. The completion was where it needed to be every single time. I mean, everything about him that I watched tonight, you know what it reminded me of? Is young Jeff Francis with velocity. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I mean, how polished Jeff was when he came to the big leagues. That's what it reminded me of. I mean, a glove up in front of the face on every sign. He repeated it every time. I never got to see him in the stretch because nobody got to first for 5 innings.
That's a good thing.
That's a really good thing. And, I mean, it was funny because as fast as he worked, I would say six of the hitters called time. I mean, that's the thing I think the defense is going to love behind him. That he pounds the strike zone, he works fast, he doesn't mess around on the mound, he gets the ball and he throws it. I really liked what I saw tonight. It was very impressive.
Hey, George, the guy playing short, by the way, for the Rockies tonight, he's really good. He just turned a nice double play.
Well, tell him they're giving away a Tulowitzki bobblehead in a Tulsa Driller jersey on Saturday night if he wants to come back and sign any.
Well, you got to bring some because there's a Tulo bobblehead going on tonight as well. Hey, George, we appreciate it.
All right, guys,
Thank you for the update. George Frazier from Tulsa.
The Rockies, as we go bottom two, they're up 5-0. There's the Marlins bullpen. A guy not in the pen is the lefty Randy Choate. They gave up the home run to Jason Giambi on Monday night, the walk-off. Take a look at it now. Choate back in Miami, having an MRI on his left elbow, so not in the bullpen. Interesting story about Randy Choate. That was only the sixth lefty to hit a home run off of him. He said he remembered them all. Ben Greaves won, Sean Green, Adam Kennedy, Luke Scott, Giambi. And he said back in the day, Giambi autographed a bat for him, and he wrote on it this saying, "How come I can't get anything off of you?" And then gave it to him, and then he hits a home run off of him. So kind of a funny story, guys, about Randy Choate, but he's not here. Not funny that he has to return for an MRI, guys.
All right, Mark, thank you. And I'll tell you, another key member of that bullpen who's not available tonight is Edward Mujica. So Jack McKeon is really thin. And then you couple that with how Nolasco started.
Yeah, that's going to make that bullpen even more dicey because they put Brian Sanchez on the DL today and activated Ryan Webb. So you don't know how he's going to be able to feel coming off the DL if Nolasco can't last long in this game.
Dexter retired on a ground ball to second. Mark Ellis nearly hit one out of here to center field. We've noticed it in this series with all the home runs, but if you watch batting practice, as we do every day, the ball is flying.
See the ball Giambi hit today in batting practice, hit the facade of the third deck.
I lost count. Here goes Ellis. He's gone. I lost count with Giambi. I said, "How many did you hit in the third deck today?" He said, kind of quietly, I think that was 3.
Yeah. It's so much fun when he hits him, though, to watch him and just track him.
Watch this one. This is the one you were talking about, Jeff. This off the facade. Now that, folks, that's not in extreme right field. That's right center field. That's 470 feet or so. Maybe longer. Cargo pulls it to first, and Gabby Sanchez just butchered it. And Cargo's going to end up at second base. I mean, he's not going to get an easier play tonight.
Just the 4th error on the season for Gabby Sanchez. He took his eye off the baseball. Didn't look it all the way in. And here it comes. Nice easy hop. I got it. But notice how he didn't have his glove out in front of his eyes. He had it more back even with his head. And you lose sight of it that last little bit. And that's what Sanchez did. It went off the top of his glove. Before that error from Sanchez, he was leading the National League in fielding percentage by a first baseman. Just lost the lead to
number 17.
Number 17.
Tulo reaches down and he pops this one in foul ground, and Sanchez makes a good play. So Carlos Gonzalez left at second, and Sanchez's error does no harm to Ricky Nolasco. Rockies did plenty of harm in the first frame. 5-0 they lead. Ahead is brought to you by E470. Find E470 on Facebook and Twitter for details on how to win free tolls. Tomorrow's the first off day in 3 weeks for the Rockies. And then the Dodgers will be in over the weekend. The Astros will follow the Dodgers into town. Again, no television Saturday. The ball game will fall in the afternoon in the national TV window. Jose Lopez at the plate. And he's ahead in the count 2-0.
One more update on Drew Pomeranz. Now he's perfect through 6.
Easy game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice
That's
pickup
not an easy pick.
by Chris Nelson. High throw, and Helton evidently stayed on the bag. Good play by Todd.
Yeah, but remember that throw earlier this year that Ty Wigington made over to first base with that sun kind of in Todd's eyes? He wasn't able to catch it. This ball was up in the sun just a little bit, and Todd had to readjust his feet and stay on the bag. In between, short hop on the backhand. Strong throw. Just love it when you have a first baseman over there that just can pick you up.
Fly ball down the right field line by Nolasco. Look out for the wall. Cargo made the catch, and he is okay. Well, that was a scary deal, just watching him sprint, and then from our vantage point, Huey, he goes out of the picture.
We lose him. We can't see him from where we're sitting, and then going into that wall.
Look at the foot.
I know. What the foot, just the way it bends.
He's an amazing, amazing baseball player.
No matter what position he's playing or what happens, we know about the running into the wall in center field. He has no fear. But watch the slide as he goes in, and then the foot and the knee.
Yeah, I mean, that thing, there was a lot of velocity going into the, you can see how the leg bent and the tracks we were showing you. Fortunately, popped right up.
Well, and the other thing, too, where he's at, there's about a four steps that you have once you hit that dirt over there before you run into the wall.
Well, clearly he's not playing nearly as hard in the outfield since running into the center field wall. He's become a little gun shy.
Yeah, you get to tell from that play.
3-2 on Bonifacio.
Well, he said coming back after running into the wall that that's not going to change the way he plays. He's still going to play all out, and if he runs into some more walls, that's just the way he plays.
That's another base hit for Bonifacio, who's now 7 for 10 lifetime against Aaron Cook.
Bonifacio earlier this year had a 26-game hitting streak. This is 2 balls now to Todd's right that has just eluded the glove. Both of them by Bonifacio.
Brian Peterson popped to short his first time up, and he's going to pop this one up. Ellis and Tulowitzki. It'll be Troy again. And that's all for Florida in the 3rd inning. Great catch by Carlos Gonzalez. 5-0 Colorado, middle of 3. They're up 5-0 as they come to hit here for the third time. Helton, Smith, and Nelson. Todd popped out in that first inning when the Rockies hit around. Outside ball one on Todd. Ball one strike. Jason Giambi has meant so much to the Rockies in the 2 years now that he's been with Colorado, back to the latter part of 2009. And he's meant a ton to Todd Helton. They've become very good friends, first and foremost. And also Todd, at least once a game, he was telling me tonight, will talk to Giambi and ask him what he sees in Helton's swing. And he told me every time he is spot on.
Well, they both hit left-handed, so that's the first and foremost thing that you look for when you're wanting some advice from a player. Are you the same type of player? You're going to ask a right-handed guy that's a power guy to look at a left-handed swing with maybe like a Bonifacio type. Well, that's the first thing you do. But then also you have guys that are very much alike in their age, in their experience, how long they've been around in this game, how they've come up and been mentored. Now they're more on the other side, mentoring young players, so you have that common bond.
Here's a 3-2. And Helton fouls that off. One of the things, Todd, you can appreciate this, not only a left-handed batter, a big league hitter, he feels that every once in a while he's been falling forward with his hands in his swings instead of staying on the backside a little bit longer.
You lose your power that way. So if you start to drift and you bring your hands with you, you've lost your lower half, all your legs, and people want to think that you hit with your arms because you have these big, strong guys. But it's really your core and your legs that help drive the baseball. So if your legs are gone and you take your bat with you, then you're just swinging just with your arms and your wrist, and you're not going to be able to drive it.
And Todd serves that to center field for a base hit. That's one of those hits, Jeff, where Todd's bat, his hand-eye coordination's off the charts, almost perpendicular to the plate.
Yeah, but he kept his hands back. What we were just talking about a moment ago, even though the body might have got out in front just a little bit, the hand stayed back just long enough where he could almost like a backhand shot in tennis, where you're just trying to get it back over the net, and that's what Todd did on that swing, just enough to hit it in front of Mike Cameron out in center field.
Seth Smith, who walked on a 3-2 pitch and scored on the Ionetta bases loaded double, takes strike one. Make sure you join us in the 6th inning for Toyota Talk. Text Toyota followed by a space, and then your comments and questions to 720-720. So let me ask you, how excited are you to see in the coming weeks, in all probability, Alex White and hopefully Drew Pomerantz as well? Does that get you fired up as a Rockies fan to see the next grouping of players? Nolan Arenado, we told you, and he's not coming up this year, but Modesto drove in 100 runs. Has driven in 100 runs. Got his 100th ribby last night. First professional player to eclipse that mark this year. Arenado, from the moment they signed him, the Rockies figured he was going to be a big-time bat in the big leagues one day, and he's proven that at the minor league level so far. This ball is going to sneak through the left side. Well, close enough. Bonifacio keeps it around the dirt, but it's first and second. Nobody out for Chris Nelson. AT&T trivia question. Since the Rockies and Marlins entered baseball in 1993, who has won more games? Great question.
A 50-50 chance, though.
Yeah, you do. It's a great question because the Marlins have enjoyed some unbelievable success. They have 2 world championships after all. And they've also had some down years. Chris got to get up the line. That's one, and not going to turn it over on that. So Nelson makes it first and third, 1 out for Chris Iannetta, Mr. RBI tonight.
Hit a little too slow, and also the turnout at second base wasn't that quick. It allowed Chris to beat it out.
How does a middle infielder speed up his hands? Well, we'll get to that in a moment. Here's Iannetta's double with the bases loaded. It was really misjudged by Mike Cameron. Now, it was hit really hard, so hard that it forced Cameron into a bad play, and it cleared the bases in the first.
But to go back to your point that you're talking about, it's all your feet. It's what quickens up your hands. People think that, oh, I want to get that ball out of my glove quickly. Well, it's your footwork prior to all of that happening, making sure your hands aren't outside your body, keeping them close to the middle part, your chest area. Because all the glove is used for on a double play is to change direction of the ball.
One and one. Elton at third, Nelson good speed at first with 1 out. And Iannetta fouls this off. Well, if you're looking to save energy and money, find out how the little changes add up at togetherwesave.com, your local Touchstone Energy cooperative, delivering reliable power, energy saving tools, and more. And Velasco goes slider again and misses.
I haven't seen him throw that split finger too much tonight because he's been behind in the count a lot. And usually when the split finger is good, it's because you have command of the fastball. Because it's the same arm action. So if you don't have the good command of the fastball, the split's not going to work. So that's why it's more sliders tonight, some more curveballs.
This is bounced through the hole. Another base hit for Iannetta. Make it 6-0 Colorado as Helton scores. Four RBI night for Chris Iannetta. 45 ribbies on the season.
Now after the All-Star break, Chris has 13 RBIs just since the All-Star break. We saw the Rockies be victimized in St. Louis the other night off some ground balls that had eyes just scooting past an infielder, and that's what Chris's ball did there.
And look at that. Aaron Cook crosses him up. And the 7th run comes around in the person of Chris Nelson. And Aaron Cook has his 2nd RBI.
And the one guy that can handle the bat and do this is Aaron Cook. So you square around early. You have the shortstop going towards second base. Look at this whole area going right out there. It's got all kinds of daylight. Pull the bat back, and all you're thinking of is get on top of the baseball. Hit it on the ground. The worst thing you can do is hit the ball up in the air. But Aaron stayed on top of it and hit a base hit and an RBI.
The old slug bunt.
Yep.
Some guys call it the Butcher Boy.
Whatever you want to call it, you don't want to take a full swing. So get the bunt out there and then just pull it back up towards your ear so you can chop back down on the ball.
And pitchers, when they take batting practice, take far more bunts than anybody else, and they also work on the slug bunt.
Well, just for that reason. So if you see the guys creeping too hard, you pull it back, and you can do it on your own.
We've got tacos already here in the third inning. Second time in this series. And Taco Bell is the place to be tomorrow between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies Taco Special.
What a night already against Alaska. We talked about his numbers and how good they were against the Rockies here at Coors Field. In his last 4 starts, he only had a 1.98 ERA, so he came into the ball game on a roll.
You know what it's called? Market correction.
Figured it had to happen.
It's hard to keep a 164 in this ballpark for a long period of time. Especially when the Rockies are putting together good swings. It is a lineup that should do damage. 2-1 on Dexter, and this is rolled toward the hole. We get one there. First, not in time. Iannetta to third with 2 outs. Mark Ellis coming up. Travel to North Carolina, meet some of the Asheville tourists at part 1 of a new episode of Rockies All Access. We'll introduce you to the Rockies' #1 pick from a year ago, Kyle Parker, who's having a very good year for Joe Michaluk in Asheville. And you'll get to meet Mark Tracy, Jim Tracy's youngest son. It's Rockies All Access tomorrow night at 6:30. Mark Ellis, a deep fly ball to center field and a strikeout.
Drew Pomeranz finally gave up a base hit. Perfect game's over after 6 1/3. Pretty impressive.
Well, it's a nice way to start.
Still only 67 pitches as he's heading into the 7th inning.
Again, he was perfect through 6 innings tonight in his Rockies debut. And listen, he has to be nervous a little bit. He's pitching for a new organization. He knows he was one of the featured players in a trade for a big name in Ubaldo Jimenez. And oh, by the way, the general manager is there, and Dan O'Dowd. His right-hand man, and Bill Guyvet, is there.
Go get him, kid.
Yep, here you go.
I think it just shows you a little bit of his moxie and makeup, though.
6 1/3, 2 hits, 3 punch-outs. Pounded the zone. The left-hander out of Ole Miss. This is pitch number 69 in comparison for Nolasco here in the 3rd inning. There goes Dex, and it's a base hit to right. Chris Iannetta scores the Rockies' 8th run. Fowler at third, Cargo coming up. Randy St. Clair again going out to the mound. This is his 2nd trip this evening.
And nobody warming up for the Marlins. Just a slider away from Mark Ellis, hit it right off the end of the bat. Looped it into right field with Dexter running. Trout's into third base. I'm just shocked, though, that there's nobody warming up for Nolasco. It's not like he's your number 5 starter where you need him to just wear it. This is the top of your rotation guy right behind Josh Johnson. And Johnson's not pitching anymore the rest of this year with the bad shoulder. So he's your ace, and you let him hang out there for 8 runs and 10 hits.
You know, the Rockies hopefully are well on their way to taking 2 or 3 from Florida. Coming into this series, the 3 starting pitchers for Jack McKeon, Clay Hensley, Anibal Sanchez, and Ricky Nolasco, in their career were 11-1 with a 2.44 ERA in 16 starts against the Rockies.
They're taking out some of the aggression tonight against Nolasco. They're 10 for 19 are the hitters.
Look at those numbers. 2 outs, runners in scoring position. There's your guy. Gonzalez, an RBI single, and he reached on an error by Gabby Sanchez. 1 for 2. Breaking balls in there. Any pitch, any count from Ricky Nolasco.
He might be inventing some pitches out there now, because what he's throwing up here in the first 2 2/3, not fooling a whole lot of guys.
Cargo takes strike 2. It's 1-2. Last night, Gonzalez, the long home run, a walk, and a single. 2 for 3. Average sitting at 285. And this ball's well hit right center field. And it's going to get on out of here. 3-run jack, Carlos Gonzalez. And the route is really on. $11-0 Colorado. Number 20 for number 5.
We've seen Carlos hit some home runs the last week or so that just kind of make you shake your head, because that ball is a breaking pitch down and away from him. And we talk about getting out on your front foot a little bit too much. When Carlos is out on his front foot, but the strength to stay through that ball. Man. That ball just keeps traveling.
You know, it short hopped the back wall of the bullpen. And Jeff, I mean, you're right. Breaking ball. He was out front a little bit. He's got to go down and get it. And he still hit it about 415.
Like the home run he hit the other night in St. Louis. Got out away from him. But he had completely lost that back leg. Any drive off of that.
You know what he is, Jeff? He's just really, really good.
Some guys are. There's no words to explain why they do what they do. Carlos is that guy.
This guy at the plate's really, really good also.
Finally got somebody up.
Yeah, Burke Baden hops up. I don't know if anybody down there really wants in this thing right now.
That's when the phone rings and you shake your head. No, wrong number.
Dominoes.
I'm not here.
The 11 runs that Nolasco has relinquished, a career high. He had a 3.72 ERA coming in. It may jump above 4. $11 runs on 11 hits. Here's the 1-2. And Cargo hits it in the air to Stanton and right. 5 runs for the Rockies in the first, 6 runs for the Rockies in the third. Cargo's driven in 4, so is Chris Iannetta. Work, top of the 4th inning. Check in with Mark Stout. He's got tonight's Fast Cash Sideline Report, brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Mark, a jack of all trades, and tonight he's filling in on the sidelines for Alana Rizzo, who's a little under the weather. Alana, feel better.
Indeed, we hope she does. I got a cool story to tell you about babies. Last year was like the year of the babies for the Rockies. All kinds of guys were having babies, and this year, Seth Smith, he's an expecting father. So is Jason Hamill. But there's a story about Jack Hanahan of the Cleveland Indians. The team was in Boston recently, and he got a frantic call from his agent saying that his wife was going into labor. This was in her third trimester, and he couldn't get back to Cleveland. Well, Justin Masterson, his teammate, passed a hat around in the clubhouse and raised $35,000 for a charter flight to get him back. He gets back to Cleveland, walks into the hospital 15 minutes later, there for the birth of his first child, his son. And it was premature, but everybody's good to go. Should be coming out of the hospital soon. But a great story. I told that to Seth, and Jason Hamill, whose wife is expecting. She's due on September the 2nd. And guys, he told me he thinks she may have her baby the beginning of next week during this homestand, and that would be the best case scenario because he'd be home, because he doesn't have a game plan like Jack Hanahan didn't either, and hopefully he doesn't have to charter a flight. But a cool story from the Indians.
That's a great story,
yeah.
And it conjures up a story that Wendy O'Dowd, or Wendy O'Dowd, how about Wendy Houston told me that Jeff, going back a ways, when Lindsay was born, your oldest, evidently that they passed a hat around so you could get back, and they came up with $14.95, and you took a cab.
She was born in the off season. I didn't have to worry about it. All three of my kids.
So Wendy was not telling me the truth there?
Yeah, maybe she didn't want me to get back there. I don't know. But yeah, all three of our kids were born in the off season. We were fortunate.
I thought that was very nice. Nolan Ryan reached in his pocket. He came out with a 5 spot to really get the thing rolling.
Yeah, a couple other guys shooting a couple ones. Some change.
Yeah. Times have changed, though. I mean,
they have.
You played in a different economic time. Kick save up. Aaron's got to pick it up again. He's still going to get Gabby Sanchez at first base. Cookie's laughing about it. Going to put a chest protector on when he goes out next time. That was funny. Fortunately, he's okay. You can laugh when you're up 11-0. Knocked it down. I don't have it. Let me pick it up again. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. By McDonald's, during McNuggets Mania at McDonald's, get 50 juicy chicken McNuggets for just $9.99. And by the Colorado Lottery, don't forget to play. Pretty night outside, pretty night on the scoreboard. The Rockies beating up the Marlins this evening 11-0. And it's just the bottom of the fourth inning. It was a short night for Ricky Nolasco, who has dominated the Rockies through the years, 5-0. I don't think he's going to be 5-0 at the end of the evening. Burke Badenhop will take over. You know, Huey, the only guy with a better record against the Rockies, Brett Myers, 7-0. Nolasco, 5-0. Billy Swift, who's obviously long since retired, 5-0. Mark Pryor, who's trying comeback number 8, I think.
Or 9, 10.
5-0. Helton at the plate takes the ball. Jay Powell, 5-0. Ryan Madsen, who's the closer right now for Philadelphia, is 5-0, and a former great closer, Eric Gagne, 5-0.
About the only thing that Ricky Nolasco did right for himself tonight, he recorded a couple strikeouts. That moved him into a tie with Dontrelle Willis as a leader all time in Marlins history with 757 strikeouts.
And Helton's got another base hit for Todd. That is hit 2,351. Coming up in the 6th inning, text Toyota followed by a space, and then your comments and questions to 720-720. And we're asking you to comment about your excitement level about seeing Alex White and Drew Pomeranz, and hopefully that comes a little bit later on this month or at some point in September. Pomeranz made his Rockies organizational debut tonight, and what a debut it was in Tulsa. He was perfect through 6 innings, and in the 7th he finally gave up a couple of hits. There's a base hit for Seth Smith. Well, the Rockies treating Burke Badenhop like they treated Ricky Nolasco.
They just keep firing out the hits. But the final line on Drew Pomeranz tonight: 7 innings, the 2 hits that you mentioned, 4 strikeouts, 0 walks, 78 pitches, 55 for strikes.
Wow.
He was in mind to only go 85 pitches tonight. So get him through those 7 innings and let him enjoy this night.
Now keep in mind, Pomeranz has raced through A ball and AA ball in the Cleveland organization. I mean, he was #1 pick last year.
We saw him in spring training. Impressed with him then.
He was 3-3 with a 198. Forget the record. I mean, 3-3, whatever. 198 ERA in 18 starts this year between A ball and AA ball. In 91 innings, this is before tonight, he had given up 66 hits. That's it. Nelson takes another strike. He had struck out 112 in 91 innings and walked just 38. So you add on the work tonight, it's 68 hits in 98 innings.
And I like what George said when we had him on the air back in the 2nd inning, the way he went and prepared for this ball game tonight. You know, the 30, 60, 90, 120 coming back in. Didn't rush anything. So you know his preparation is paramount to his success. So once you get that foundation, you really don't waver from that as a player.
Chris Nelson hits it to shallow center field. Cameron comes on to make the catch, 1 out. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. And if you're not a customer, become one. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Chris Iannetta, a 3-run double and an RBI single. So he's already driven in 4, and he comes up with runners at 1st and 2nd and 1 out in the 4th inning.
The Rockies already tonight are 7 for 13 with runners in scoring position. I mean, think about this now. The last 8 ball games, they were only 11 for 64. And already tonight, 7 for 13.
That's where you want to say, hold on, okay, let's
save some of these?
Let's put a few of these on layaway.
We'll put him in a deposit over here. We could withdraw from him later on. That doesn't work that way.
1 ball, 1 strike on Iannetta. Iannetta stays out of a double play. Aaron Cook will have his 3rd at bat here in the 4th inning. Rockies hit around in scoring 5 in the 1st. They hit around again in scoring 6 in the 3rd. One and 2. With the home run by Cargo, the Rockies, Huey, have now hit 17 home runs in their last 10 ball games. And they've hit a home run now in 9 straight. Two and 2. Now we talked to George Frazier earlier from Tulsa. He gave us a scouting report, bird's eye view on watching Drew Pomerantz's Rockies organizational debut. And next half inning, in between next half inning, we're going to talk to Jim Tracy, as we do in home games on Wednesdays.
Hey, how about this offense tonight?
That may be one of the questions.
Yep.
I said 9 straight games, 9 straight coming in. It's a home run in 10 straight games now for the Rockies. Three and 2. And a bullet to second. It's going to turn into a double play. Now Chris hit that hard, but right at Jose Lopez. 11 zip. Stick around. Jim Tracy up next. Double digits through 4 innings. Skip, I like when you play this card.
Well, it's a real good conversation when the score's like that, isn't it, Drew?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, just, what's interesting up to this point, Drew, offensively, are the type of at-bats that we took in the 1st inning and had Ricky Nolasco up close to around the number of pitches that Joe Lease threw last night for us. And then we didn't have such a good offensive inning in the 2nd inning. We fired early. Had a pretty easy inning for Ricky Nolasco. Then we turned back around and put some more good at-bats together. Obviously used a situational at-bat with Cookie, and then took some 2-out at-bats, Drew, to take it from 7 and 8 to 11 to nothing.
How about the swing from Carlos Gonzalez? Out on his front foot a little bit, breaking ball away from him, still has the power to hit it off the back wall.
You know what, Huey, we've seen that before. We talk about it in this dugout all the time. You throw that pitch to him with 2 strikes, it better hit the ground, or it's got a real good chance of ending up in the seats.
All right, hey, Trace, good luck the rest of the way. Hang in there, all right?
All right, don't you guys screw anything up.
He's been around us enough, huh?
Yeah, evidently. All right, we'll go to the 5th inning. Jim Tracy's club up 11-0. Mike Cameron takes a slider off the plate, ball 1. And Cameron hits a high fly ball to center field.
That's 5 ground ball outs now for Cook, 7 fly ball outs, and a caught stealing.
Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question. It reads, since the Rockies and Marlins entered in 1993, who has won more games? John Buck's at the plate. Is that amazing? The Rockies have won 1,421, the Marlins 1,420. That is something. Of course, the Rockies have been to the postseason more than the Marlins. The Rockies have been 3 times, the Marlins twice. The Rockies have been to 1 World Series, but the Marlins have made it twice to the postseason and nobody beat them. So the Marlins have what the Rockies want, and that's a world championship.
An elusive ring, what you start off for in your off-season workouts.
2-1.
Well, this is obviously great news to have 11 runs for Aaron Cook, because his previous 4 starts, the Rockies had only given him 3 runs of support total.
Line drive. Tulowitzki got some leather on it, but couldn't haul it in. So John Buck reaches with 1 out. That'll bring up Jose Lopez. Let's take a look at our Excel Energy high efficiency innings, 4th inning for Aaron Cook. Mike Stanton led off, and Stanton hit a fly ball to center field on a sinker. Greg Dobbs hit a fly ball to right field, and then Gabby Sanchez hit a comebacker, and Cook had to pick up twice. That's brought to you by Excel Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Lopez yanks it foul.
Snag off the wall down there. Here, you can have it.
Go, honey. I told you I'd get you baseball tonight.
That was off the ricochet, too.
I think fans, when they get a baseball for the first time, a Major League Baseball, they're probably surprised at the coloring of the baseball, that it's so dark.
Yeah, it's not white.
That it's not the pearly white that you see maybe if you go to a store and you
rub it up with
buy
that
one
mud.
there. Yeah. This ball's well hit center field. But Dex is there. Two outs. Burke Badenhop will be coming up. Time for the Land Rover extraordinary play. Now Ricky Nolasco on his only at bat hit a foul ball deep down the right field line. What a catch by Carlos Gonzalez. Watch his leg go into that wall hard. Pop right back up. Fortunately is fine. There's a strike to Badenhop.
Cook tonight, 12 of 17 first pitch strikes. This help with some of the success that he's had. Hit Hop a couple hits on the season.
He has a single and a double. Kind of feast or famine though. Single, double, and 3 punch outs.
Swing from the heels.
So his batting average of balls in play is 1,000. It's hard to maintain that though.
Make sure you're at Coors Field this weekend to cheer on your Rockies when they take on the Dodgers. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Remember, Saturday's ball game, 2:10 start.
Here's the 1-2.
Oh.
That froze him. Strike 3. Aaron Cook gave up a single to John Buck. That was all in the 5th inning. All Colorado tonight. First, 6 more in the 3rd. Aaron Cook and then the top of the order in the 5th inning. Rockies fans, Root Sports is looking for the biggest baseball fans in the Rocky Mountain region. Now, if you live, eat, breathe baseball, we want you to share your photos. And this month, we're looking for the ultimate Rocky fans in the state of Wyoming. And we're going to feature them on our broadcast. So to enter, visit our website at rockymountain.rootsports.com. A couple of changes for Jack McKeon. Mike Cameron goes out. Dwayne Wise comes in. Ozzie Martinez comes in at shortstop. And Emilio Bonifacio is out. Aaron Cook's 1 for 2. He had an RBI slug bunt through the left side his last time up.
Jack McKeon giving the veteran Cameron some time off, and also Bonifacio, because he's been playing a lot this year. Marlins are heading down to San Diego after the game for a 4-game set starting tomorrow.
Philadelphia tonight. There's a ground ball to first. Batenhop will get over there. Philadelphia cooled off Arizona tonight. They beat them 9-2.
Arizona had won 7 straight.
They had, and the Giants picked up a game because they beat Atlanta 7-5. Matt Cain got the win. So here's the updated standings in the National League West. The Diamondbacks, the surprise team in the National League this year without question, probably throughout baseball. 2.5 up on the Giants, and the Rockies are 12.5 back pending the outcome of this game.
We got big hits from Lyle Overbay last night, did the Diamondbacks. Doc Holliday was just cruising along.
He matched his career high with 14 strikeouts. It's the first time in his career that he has carried a lead into the 9th inning that he pitched and did not win.
In his career.
In his career. And you know how many complete games he throws. I mean, he's a throwback guy. I mean, he throws a lot of complete games in an era where very few pitchers stick around that long.
Yeah, a lot of complete games in the National League. You see it more in the American League because you don't, obviously you have the DH, so you don't have to worry about that. But he even does it over in the National League here.
Dexter, a strikeout victim. 2 outs. That'll bring up Mark Ellis. Ellis an RBI single in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. This crowd on a Wednesday night, middle of August.
It's just a picture perfect evening.
In that ball game in Tulsa, Huey, Hector Gomez, whose only issue in his development has been staying healthy. Latin shortstop that has great tools, but every year he comes up with some kind of injury. He had a rough first half. He's been coming on in the second half. Tonight, he has a double, a triple, and a home run. He's a single shy of the cycle. Big story there, the debut of Drew Pomeranz, 6 perfect innings, took a perfect game into the 7th. And Ellis a strikeout victim. So Badenhop works a 1-2-3 fifth. That's the first 1-2-3 inning of the night from Florida's perspective. 11-0 Colorado.
Rockies going top 6. Mike Stanton, the 21-year-old slugger for the Marlins, is due up this inning. Jack McKeon said that he's helped him with his plate discipline by thinking like Ted Williams. I know that's hard to understand because Ted Williams hit .344 in his career, but Ted Williams, Jack McKeon said, would go 1 for 3 with a walk, 2 for 4 with a walk, and he was satisfied. If they're not going to pitch him where you can't hit him, take the walk. And also, guys, today Jim Tracy talked about Stanton improving his discipline with the curveball. You just can't throw any curve up there now because Stanton will hit it a long way. And Hugh, I think you heard the skipper talking about that.
Yeah, he was. And Jim Tracy was comparing Stanton to Dave Kingman, but not with the strikeouts, but just by the leverage that he creates with his long swing and the power that he can generate.
You know, growing up, Dave Kingman was a New York Met for a while. And his at-bats, though he was a .220 hitter, this is a ground ball to third, his at-bats were ones you did not want to miss.
So you didn't go to the concession stand when he was
No,
hitting?
because, I mean, he would strike out a ton. And again, he hit only .220, .230 maybe. But he would hit 35 to 40 home runs a year, and they weren't cheapies. I mean, they were hit a mile. 6'6", and he weighed about 230 pounds.
Kind of like big Frank Howard.
Yeah. Lived on a
Hondo.
Lived on a boat in the Bay Area in the offseason, as I recall. Never said much. Remember the ball he hit at Wrigley Field?
Oh, my.
It went over Waveland Avenue and hit a house. And as the story goes, the homeowner, a lady, comes running out of the house. She didn't know what happened. I mean, she thought some calamity had happened. No,
it's just a ball from down the street.
It's just Kingman, man. I mean, he just hit a home run. When they start measuring them in blocks, and they're not measuring them in feet anymore, you know you're strong.
That was 2.5 blocks past the stadium.
Right. And the 3-0 is in there on Peterson. Felton makes the play, and Cook just got his foot down in front of Peterson. Good hustle by Peterson.
From the left side, he got out of that box pretty quickly. Todd had to back up on that play to create the hop that he needed. It goes back and then underhands it to Aaron Cook, who's coming over to the bag, and just in time. That's the right foot of Aaron Cook. Good thing Cookie wears a size 11.5, because he just beat that out.
We got a little more on Mike Stanton that I think is going to amaze you. Mike Stanton, with 28 home runs, he's tied for second in the league in home runs. He now, coupled with the 22 he hit last year as a 20-year-old, has obviously 50 home runs. He's the 13th player in big league history to hit 50 or more home runs through the age of 21. And he's going to hit more. It won't be 22 until November. Listen to the list. Ball foul. Oh, man. That bat didn't hit anybody, no?
How did it miss everybody?
Anyhow, listen to this list, because everybody is okay. Jack McKeon got out of the way.
Donnie all right there? Yep, he survived.
Put that helmet on, Don does. Sitting in front in the purple shirt. It's his perch. Anyhow, 50-plus home runs through the age of 21. Mel Ott, Tony Canigliaro, Tony C., Eddie Matthews, Frank Robinson, Alex Rodriguez, Ken Griffey Jr., Al Kaline, Mickey Mantle, Bob Horner, Andrew Jones, Ted Williams, Orlando Cepeda. That's the group that this young man is hanging with. Stanton pops out to end the 6th inning. Aaron Cook, a shutout through 6 innings. That's kind of been lost in all the runs. Cookie's pitching a terrific game. Carlos Gonzalez, he got a breaking ball away and down. He was out on the front side, and he went down and still hit it off the back wall of the bullpen. You have to be a special talent to do that. 20th home run of the year for Cargo. He's got a 4 RBI night. He's got 71 ribbies now, and he'll lead things off in the 6th inning. He'll see a new arm. Jose Seda is now in. Cargo, Tulowitzki, Todd Helton to face Seda, who was down in New Orleans till 5 days ago. It's his 3rd stint with the big club this year.
And down in New Orleans, 3-1 with a 1.36 ERA.
He was a closer.
He was a closer, 24 for 27 in save opportunities. But with some of the injuries, they had to call Jose up.
He was up last September as well. Got 8 ball games a year ago. Eric Young. Apparently he's going to pinch hit here for Carlos Gonzalez. Cargo was out there initially, and Jim Tracy's going to try to give a day and a half off, I guess, to some of his regulars. Tomorrow a scheduled day off.
Well, Herrera is going to come to the on deck circle for Troy. More than likely Ty Wigington will hit for Todd Helton. After Jack McKeon pulled a couple of his guys out of the lineup, and then you can do that if you're in the opposite dugout. Kind of wait to see who makes the first move.
Broken bat roller to Gabby Sanchez. So Herrera will pinch hit for Tulowitzki. Troy finishes the day 1 for 3. Gonzalez, by the way, 2 for 3 and 4 RBIs. Geico quote of the day, Jack McKeon last Sunday. Now, Ryan Vogelsong was upset because he got pitched inside and then got clipped in a ball game. Here's a strike, so we wanted to set that up for you. Jack McKeon was asked about it after the ball game. He said, guys get carried away. Volkswagen, whatever his name is, he's lucky. He didn't have to face Drysdale or Gibson or one of those guys. You'd get a shave and a haircut real quick.
Meaning next time he came up, they weren't going to worry about his feelings. Here, you want to complain, throw your bat down, throw a temper tantrum, wear it. Nolan Ryan, same way.
Jack McKeon is going to tell you exactly what he thinks, and there's not going to be a governor on the throttle.
Says why should there be? I'm 80 years old. I'm having the ball managing again at the big league level. This is who I am.
Hey, remember his first act when he took over? I mean, it was a big story naturally throughout baseball. Jack McKeon come from the Carolinas, 8 years old. There he is trotting down to South Florida to take over again, as he did famously in 2003, and that ended in a world championship when he took over for Jeff Torborg. High throw, and that one goes into camera well. Herrera is going to end up at second base on the error by Ozzie Martinez, his first error. The young shortstop.
He just threw this away. Easy two-hopper. And he just airmailed it. Got a little quick. Had trouble getting the ball out of his glove. Left his arm behind. And sailed it. Second error tonight for the Florida Marlins.
So Ty Wigington will pinch hit for Helton. That's a tough pickup. Nicely done. Wigington thrown out by Greg Dobbs. Backhanded, having to retreat a little bit.
It takes some arm strength to be able to throw that all the way across like Dobbs did. The momentum's carrying you towards the stands. So you first have to stop that and then set your feet. Throw off your back leg, and as you're going to the ball, you catch it, you load up, meaning you put a lot of weight on that right leg to help the momentum and the weight transfer go back to throw it to first.
Seth Smith 2 for 2 and a walk. So the first act of Jack McKeon when he took over, he had a team meeting. And his big star, Hanley Ramirez, was late.
Not smart.
Not smart. Jack McKeon sat down Hanley Ramirez.
Good for him.
Benched him. Then a couple days later, he put his arm around him. He said, and Hanley was having an awful year. Put his arm around him and said, hey, you got to be part of the solution, not a part of the problem. Moved him to the cleanup spot. Kind of spanked him and said, now we're going to move on. And Hanley took off from that point on.
And unfortunately, that's not the first time something like that has happened with Hanley.
Well, he's a marvelous talent, but he has bouts of immaturity. This is bounce foul.
But you can't be late. You can't be late for a meeting. Especially when you have a new manager like Jack McKeon.
You want to make a nice first impression.
I mean, you're making a lot of money. I'm sure you could go buy a watch.
And the crazy thing is most ball players get to the park, 4.5 hours prior to the first pitch. And I guarantee the meeting wasn't at 2 in the afternoon.
No, it was probably right before they went out to stretch. If the ball game's at 7, they're going out at 3:45, 4 o'clock, maybe 4:15.
Center field, pretty well hit. Wise going back and making the catch. Guerrero left at second base. Rockies leading 11-0 as we go to the 7th. Time for the Cooney Lexus look back. Well, the Rockies jumped on Ricky Nolasco in the first inning. Carlos Gonzalez on a 3-0 pitch delivered Dexter Fowler. And then with the bases loaded, 2 outs, Chris Iannetta line drive to center field was misjudged, turned into a 3-run double. Third inning, Rockies would do one better. Iannetta with his 4th RBI. And then a slug bunt from Aaron Cook to produce a run. Mark Ellis, an RBI single. And there's that guy again, Carlos Gonzalez. Big fly to right, 3 runs. The Rockies got 6 that inning. Oh, look at that. That was fancy. Wigginton flipped to Aaron Cook, said, "Ooh, me? Yeah, you." And he ran to the bag. 1 out.
Then Aaron didn't know, do I turn around and tag the guy? Do I keep running to first? I think he was a little shocked that Wigginton flipped the ball to him out of his glove. Ty comes in. Oh, I got it. No, you got it. Here you go. I'll tag. Okay, I'll just step on the bag.
Well, some changes. Eric Young's in left field. That's where Seth Smith was. Seth Smith flips over to right field. Cargo is out of the ball game. I'll show you the other change. Gabby Sanchez takes a strike. Johnny Herrera's in for Troy Tulowitzki at short. And of course, Wigginton is at first now for Todd Helton.
Just 70 pitches for Aaron Cook. And we've seen this a couple different times in his career where he'll have a low pitch count, 89 pitches, 83 pitches.
Well, it's on those nights where Aaron's got the super sync going and all those mishit ground balls right to an infielder and a lot of 1-2 pitch at bats.
Yeah, the season high for pitches for Aaron is 96 this year.
Cook has retired 11 of the last 12. They're only base runners since the. Well, they've had 3 base runners since the first inning. An infield hit by Mike Cameron, which really should have been an out. Chris Nelson cut in front of Troy Tulowitzki. I know it's typically all you can get, but it would have been a really easy play for Tulowitzki and went off the top of Nelson's glove. That was one of the hits. And then Emilio Bonifacio had a hit with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. And then John Buck, a 1-out single in the 5th. That's it.
No runners reached 3rd base tonight.
No, there was a single and a double in the 1st, but Stanton's double didn't score Bonifacio because he was thrown out trying to steal by Chris Iannetta. Here's the 2-2 and another opportunity for Aaron Cook to field his position, which he's always done well. CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Ricky Nolasco at 93, Aaron at 90. Brought to you by CenturyLink. Dwayne Wise will come up for the first time. 2 outs, nobody on the 7th inning. Dwayne got a start on Monday in the first game of this series. And this ball is roped to right field, and it's over the head of Seth Smith. So Dwayne Wise will have a double. Got to tell a quick Dwayne Wise story. I think in his career, who knows, he may do something else that will garner a great deal of attention, but the catch he made in the perfect game that Mark Burley twirled a couple of years ago. He came into the ballgame in the 9th inning as a defensive replacement for Ozzie Guillen, and wouldn't you know it, he was telling me the other day, the first ball finds him. He said off the bat, he said, I didn't think I had a chance. So he put his head down, trying to run to a spot, and when he looked up again after a hard 10 or 12 strides, he said, wait, I may have a chance. And then he made just a spectacular catch.
I just remember the look on Mark Burley's face because he thought he had given up the hit, and there goes the perfect game. It's the 9th inning.
Yeah, everything would have been gone virtually.
Yep.
I mean, it would have been a triple. I mean, it could have been an inside the park home run if it hits down and Dwayne Wise goes down. Well, Mark Burley is one of the real good guys in baseball, and one of the things he did for Dwayne Wise, in addition to producing a lot of photographs for him, that Dwayne now has up in his rec room at home, he commissioned an artist, a very well-known artist, to paint the photo of Dwayne making that catch in the perfect game. Here's the 0-2. That's high 1 and 2.
I've heard of guys giving away watches and stuff like that. Never had anybody have a painting made. That's neat.
Hey, it's really neat. It's unique as you suggest, and what a piece of memorabilia. He's always going to have that up on his wall. he collects jerseys from some of the star players he's played against. He has those up, but you got to believe that painting he has up in the house is top shelf. 11-0 Colorado. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Ask about our hometown sports package. By King Soopers, more value for the way you live. And by Jack in the Box, come try the new jumbo breakfast platter for just $2.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. And Chris Nelson at the plate fouls off the first pitch. Second inning of work for Jose Cita. 0-2 on Nelson. Infield hitting an RBI in the 5-run first. Reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the third.
Well, that hit he had in the first, coupled with what Chris Iannetta did, that's what broke this game open.
This is a blooper to right, and Mike Stanton gets there. You're absolutely right. I mean, he hits the ball. A good pitch by Nolasco, and he hits a ball back toward the mound, but it was just off to the third base side enough that Nolasco couldn't field it. Chris runs well. Everybody's safe. Bases loaded situation. A run comes in, and then Iannetta comes up, and Iannetta hits a rocket to center field. But if it's not misplayed by Cameron, if either one of those outs is recorded, at worst it's a 2-0 game.
And maybe a 1-0 game.
Right, it could very well have been a 1-0 game and completely different complexion.
But it wasn't. Now you're sitting on an 11-0 lead.
And you're not going to apologize for it.
Not at all.
Iannetta's got 4 ribbies tonight.
August 21st is Faith Day, and that's presented by Golden Spoon Frozen Yogurt. Fans at the game will receive a free frozen yogurt card valid at any of their 5 locations.
And Iannetta hits it in the air to right center field. Dwayne Wise has it. 2 outs. Windshield damage, call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. Well, this is the night that you go through a couple of pencils.
The sharpener and an eraser, because you move over into another box.
Cook's 1 for 3. The Rockies over the weekend will miss Clayton Kershaw. Some guys, when they heard that in the clubhouse, visibly upset. Strike 3. So Cedar strikes at Cook looking, and we move on to the 8th inning. Rockies 11 runs on 13 hits. Cam. This is Todd Helton flipping Aaron Cook. Bang, bang play at first. He got the foot down right in front of Brian Peterson. That's all that counts. Good call by the first base umpire, Mike DeMuro. That's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Jose Lopez takes strike 1. Ground ball to third, a fly ball to deep center field for Lopez tonight. He doubled last night. He was 1 for 3.
Think of how efficient Aaron Cook has been. Just 82 pitches now, 81 pitches. It reminds you of that game he threw back against the Padres back in 07. It just took 74 pitches, complete game.
This ball is hit to deep left field, and it is gone. So Jose Lopez comes back to Coors Field, and he hits a home run as he did opening day in a Rockies uniform. So that breaks up the shutout. And a Marlins fan.
About the only thing he has to cheer tonight.
Yeah, gets the baseball.
Jose Lopez's first home run in a Marlins uniform.
Brett Hayes, backup catcher, is pinch hitting. First appearance for Hayes in the series. It's the final meeting this year between the Rockies and Marlins. Marlins won 2 of 3 down in South Florida. Next year when the Rockies visit South Florida, will be a new home for the Marlins.
It's going to be exciting for them. They've needed one, get out of that football stadium and have a place that they can just call their own.
Nice catch by Dexter Fowler. Well, when they do open up that stadium, this beautiful facility, one of the finest in the game, becomes ancient, because Coors Field, amazingly, will be the 3rd oldest park in the National League next year when the Marlins open up their facility. The only parks older than this one, which was built a long, long time ago in 1995. Dodger Stadium, 1960, and where you used to play, Wrigley Field, which was actually built a long time ago.
But this place today, Coors Field, still looks brand new.
Yeah. And you hear that not just...
And we're not just saying that.
Yeah, but you hear that when we travel around baseball. People who like to travel to other cities and other parks, they always rave about Coors Field, the great experience, how well the ushers treat them, and how immaculate it is. A strikeout of Martinez. 2 outs. Hey, this is an updated look. That looks like they're almost ready to go, huh?
It's big that they have that retractable roof.
That looks like a spaceship. That's going to be great. It's built on the side of the old Orange Bowl. Brian Peterson with 2 outs, nobody on. That strikeout for Cook is 3rd of the night. Peterson 2 pop outs and a ground ball to first.
Well, hopefully the fans will come and support the Marlins with the new stadium.
Yeah, you really hope so.
Because they kept saying, oh, if you get a new stadium, we'll come out and support you. Well, they got the new stadium, and now it's up to them.
I wonder what's going to happen in Tampa. They have fielded a terrific team the last few years. An exciting team, not just a winning team, but an exciting team to watch. This is toward the right field corner off the wall. And Smith gets it back in, a double for Peterson.
At least it wasn't a triple.
Yeah. He already has 3 of those. Jim Tracy talking to Tommy Reynolds, just 92 pitches in. Matt Reynolds, just in case. Mike Stanton at the plate.
Take a look at the pitch count for Aaron Cook.
Low.
Yeah, if you could diagram how you wanted to go through a ball game, we say 15 is the magic number, 15 to 17. He had 1 at 15, everything else below, including a couple single-digit innings.
Stanton hits this high in the air to deep left center field, and look where this one lands. He's hit 1 in every ball game. A 2-run shot from Mike Stanton, his 29th of the year.
Just puts him 1 behind Albert Pujols now, who has 30 going into tonight's game.
You know what else, and I know you appreciate this, Huey, for a 21-year-old. He breaks a record in speed getting around the bases.
Yeah, it's not a admire me, thump my chest, look at me, Ricky Henderson type.
No, he's practically sprinting going around. Man, can he hit the ball far. All right, he's going to get out, watch it a little bit, and then it's put the head down and run. So Aaron Cook gets a big round of applause, well deserved. The Marlins don't touch him for any runs until here in the 8th inning. He goes 7 2/3. A terrific outing for Aaron Cook. Trying for his 3rd victory this year. All-time wins leader for the Rockies. (11-3) Colorado. (7 2/3). Toyota Talk will continue in the post-game show. Toyota post-game show. Keep those comments coming. So 720-720. Of course, text Toyota first. Matt Reynolds to Greg Dobbs. Strike 1.
Well, Reynolds, it's been 5 days since he's been out on the hill. 4 days, excuse me. Last time was back on the 13th. Against St. Louis, just a 1/3 of an inning. Did have a strikeout.
That's a line drive caught by Johnny Herrera. In the inning, 3 runs for Florida, a couple of home runs. Lopez hit one, and then Mike Stanton hit a 458-foot home run. Brought to you by Ecotech Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. Rockies jumped on the Marlins in the first, got 5 runs. Chris Iannetta had a 3-run double. The 3rd inning, a 6-run inning for the Rockies was highlighted by Carlos Gonzalez's 3-run home run. Mike Stanton just a few moments ago hit another monster shot, a 2-run shot. Aaron Cook goes 7 2/3. Ricky Nolasco giving up 11 runs. That's the most he's ever allowed in his career. So it's 11-3 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning with Jeff Houston and Mark Stout. I'm Drew Goodman. You know, some people drive to the ballpark, some people ride a motorcycle, some people you know, maybe go on a bike, but this pooch, he likes to take the skateboard, and you know what, he's really good on it.
He should.
Yeah, there he is, arriving to the ballpark. And don't, you know what, do not try to take that skateboard from him. He doesn't need to lock it up anywhere, because he will bite you if you try to take his skateboard. You ever thought about that, Huey? Instead of coming in the limo you generally take?
No, I like the limo ride.
All right, well, that dog for a small fee and a little Alpo will take
maybe a dog biscuit
and a dog biscuit will give you a ride.
I have just enough trouble just standing up on a skateboard.
I will tell you right now, unequivocally, that dog rides that skateboard or any skateboard far better than I would. Of course, I won't get on a skateboard.
I'm afraid that skateboard will just skate out from underneath me and I'll end up on my backside.
Thank you. But it's kind of cheating because that dog's got 4 legs, you know, unlike all the other dogs. 1 and 2 on that. Yeah, 1 and 2 on Dexter Fowler. I wanted to get there before you did. Ryan Webb, the new pitcher, just activated today, former San Diego Padre.
Yeah, had right shoulder inflammation. 4 rehab starts.
3 and 2 on Dex. And this is line to left, and it is going to drop. And Fowler is safe at second. Pretty good throw by Brian Peterson out there.
Second base hit tonight for Dexter Fowler. Even though Brian Peterson cut this ball off, made the strong throw, Dexter gets that ball that's off the forward strike zone, slicing it down the line. 21st double for Dexter, right underneath the tag of Jose Lopez.
Now Dex is safe at second. He's safe and secure. New York life.
Foot gets in, tag him on the thigh. So I had Doug do some research to see how far all 3 of those home runs that Mike Stanton hit.
Yeah.
1,365 feet for an average of 455 feet.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Mark Ellis fouls it back. 33,522 in the house tonight. Three and one on Ellis. Mark's 1 for 4, an RBI single back in the 3rd. Rockies with 14 knocks tonight. Mike Stanton cruising back. Dexter will move up. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. So basically, don't record it.
Try to sell it.
Try to sell it.
Charge people to come watch it.
Yeah. Come on over to the house. $5.
I'll provide the popcorn. Can't do that.
Eric Young at the plate. Second AB for EY. Came in for Cargo. Pinch hit for him back in the 6th inning. Rockies had an 11-0 lead after 3. Way inside. Stick around after our Toyota postgame show for a special 1-hour episode of the Dan Patrick Show. As always, Dan and his Danettes will recap the week's top sports stories, celebrity stories as well. It's coming up after our Toyota postgame show. And shot to right field. So Eric Young brings home his buddy Dexter Fowler with the Rockies' 12th run of the ball game.
Dexter Fowler scored 3 of those.
Well, contrast to last night, Dexter and Mark Ellis had a rough night. They were collective 0 for 9 in the ball game with 6 punch-outs.
Tonight, 2 of them combined, 3 for 10 with a RBI, but it's Eric Young Jr. in his second at bat tonight, lining a ball to right field.
Johnny Herrera bounces this one to second. There's only one play the way EY runs, and that's to first. Ty Wigginton grounded to third his first time. He's coming up with 2 gone.
You can still follow the Rockies with MLB.com at Bat 11 app. Features highlights. It's a great app to have for your phone. Text at bat to 31826.
On the outside corner for a strike. Well, before he departed, had 2 hits and 3 trips. Strikeout of Ty Wigginton. Rockies get another run of the inning. A Dexter Fowler double, a single by Eric Young. 12-3 as we go to the 9th. Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. New Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Rockies got 11 runs in the first 3 innings, and we've arrived at the top of the 9th. The Rockies now have a 12-3 advantage, and we check in with Tom Helmer for all the details on what's to follow the ball game.
And Drew, that run, that last one really ruined things for me because I was going to go Spinal Tap. These go to 11, but they have 12, so does it. It's not as exciting, but still good for the Rockies, and it comes on a night when Aaron Cook has a fish fry. Great outing for him on the hill. We'll break down that performance, and as always, we'll get you down into the Rockies clubhouse, guys.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah?
What's the Cowboy doing right there?
Ciphering. He's trying to fill out his scorecard, but
it's not working.
It's not easy for him. He's a trier, though. It's a try-hard post-game show, not a do-good post-game show. It's the complete opposite of what Jim Tracy preaches to the Rockies. Good job, Cowboy. You're doing a good job. He's just a ray of sunshine, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
It is. It's like working with a ray of sunshine every day at the ballpark. You're doing great, Tracy. You're doing great.
He's very emotional tonight, isn't he?
You can tell he's excited.
I'll tell you this, guys. I got 4 kids, so working with this, it's really not that big a stretch when I come to the ballpark. I remind him to have his earpiece. Did you bring your jacket? Okay, good. He said he's old. He said he's older than all 4 of my kids combined, which is true, but I don't think it excuses his behavior.
This one's a deep drive to right center field, and it's off the middle of the wall. Dexter throws it back in. Gabby Sanchez with a leadoff double against Matt Reynolds.
He's talking to some guys about Gabby Sanchez, and he said he hasn't hit that well since he's come back from that hamstring injury. But he said he started to feel better at the plate, and that ball improves it off the wall in right center field.
Dwayne Wise, he doubled in his first at bat, and this one is down the right field line. Here comes Gabby Sanchez, overrun by Smith. Wise into second. He was already headed in that direction. I think it'll be back-to-back doubles. And it's 12-4.
J.C. Romero.
It's going to be a single and an error on Smith. That's Smith's third of the year. Were you going to say that, Jeff? Was that what you were saying?
That's just what I was getting ready to say.
All right, my bad.
That's all right.
John Buck, 1 for 3. Excuse me, John Buck's not in the ball game anymore. This would be Alfredo Meziga. My
like
scorecard.
Spring training game
Yeah,
right
my
now,
scorecard looks like. Well, actually, it doesn't
Tom's.
look as neat as the gentleman we showed keeping score in the stands a couple of innings ago. Meziga pinch hitting here.
Maybe you're going to say one of Tom's 4 kids keeping score.
Looks like, you know what, it looks that way. It looks like one of my 3 kids keeping score. You know, Tommy Runnels has impeccable handwriting now. I think that's a prerequisite of a bench coach, too.
You have to have.
You can't write like a doctor and be a bench coach. Look at the good block print for TR. Then the clean red line through. There's no white in the red dots.
I've seen some scorecards that are done on a computer. But then you still have to be able to have the handwriting once it comes down to the dugout.
Yeah. So you could be a bench coach. You have well, let me look again.
Well, not in tonight's book, please, because this is a mess.
Your handwriting's pretty solid.
It's hard though tonight. You got all these changes, double switches, guys going in here. Everybody's off the bench except for a couple guys for the Rockies.
Yeah. But you know what? Small price to pay. That's a nice play. And Mark Ellis gets a Meziga. Good looking play by Mark Ellis.
We've seen him range to his left and make plays, and you're thinking, is he going to be able to get to the ball first? And then once he comes out of his spin, every throw is right on the money. Catch the ball first. That's the most important thing. A lot of guys will get in a hurry and try to make the spin before they catch it.
Lopez in the air to deep center field. And the catch is made by Dexter Fowler. Coming home with another run is Dwayne Wise. Sac fly for Lopez.
This will be Aaron Cook's first win here at Coors Field this year. His last win was back on September 8th of last year.
Brett Hayes with his second at bat. He hit a fly ball to center his first time up. And It's 0-2. One, two, and it's 2-2. The Rockies will get a day off tomorrow. Hi, sir. How are you?
Let's say it's his birthday.
Happy birthday, sir. The reason he's got the dinger dog is his birthday dinger dog. Pulled foul.
It was Alan Bossard's birthday today.
AB's birthday today?
Yes, indeed. 50th birthday today.
I'll have to stop in the visiting clubhouse on the way out.
They
Happy
honored
birthday,
him
Alan.
today before the ball game with a ceremony on the field. Visiting clubhouse manager, longtime Rocky employee.
3-2. Yeah, Alan, A, never has a bad day, and B, is never short on energy. He has enough energy for 50 people. Rockies with this imminent win will go to 9-11 in that 20-game stretch without an off day.
They'll get their first series win since way back on July 1st through the 3rd at home.
It's their first series win since late July when they took 2 of 3 in San Diego. This ball's well hit left center field, but moving back and making the catch is Eric Young Jr. And that's all for the ball game. The Rockies win it 12-5 over Florida. They scored early and often. And Aaron Cook pitched exceptionally well for 7 2/3. And the Rockies take 2 of 3 from Florida. They finished the season series at 3-3 with the Marlins. Tonight's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Aaron Cook picks off his 3rd victory of the year, as again he works deep into the 8th inning and allows just 3 runs on 9 hits. He didn't walk a batter and struck out 3. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the ball game. Just a terrific night all the way around. And the Rockies again will enjoy a deserved day off tomorrow.